Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. And in this moon message, we are going to look at the moon in Leo and the sun in Virgo. We're getting ready, coming into Friday, I believe. Yeah, tomorrow to step into the new moon in Virgo. That's going to have the square to Mars, and you will be entering the magic. It's like the rabbit hole before the rabbit hole before the rabbit hole. And it's also like being Neo in the Matrix, and you see a bunch of agents, you know, basically coming to kill you. No biggie. You just have to escape the office. And it's kind of interesting because at that moment, Neo didn't know anything about Morpheus. Neo didn't know anything about pills. Neo just knew he had to get the hell out that office because, he didn't want to die. How many people in that office would just be like, wait, that's just in my head. How do I know they're even there to kill me? I'm just crazy. They would have been dead. So, let's keep that in mind. That's in tandem with all these false collective narratives that have been kind of brought your way, all these illusions that are seemingly unrelated, which, if you think of it like the Truman Show, leaves you susceptible to question and doubt what you know within. I mean, these illusions are so that you doubt your own internal compass because you see contradictory external phenomena that you can't even be sure is real versus literally staged or produced, right? When you get hit with these now direct experiences, further compounding this doubt or no doubt you have, it will really see what direction you take, but nothing to be worried about because this is also fundamentally changing the way you perceive magic. And in that vein, Uranus just went retrograde. In this retrograde period is going to induce, especially during Virgo season, a sudden awakening of realizing that your body is more magical than you ever thought. So imagine like you were evolving, but there was so much stuff happening around you. You didn't even notice how you were evolving until the retrograde. Boom. Now you're like, oh crap, this was here the whole time because now you've mediated whatever distractions and you can look at what was happening at a quantum Uranian level the entire time. It's a fancy way of saying that the way you look at your physiological quality and responses to events, and just the nature of your own physical body is going to be so fundamentally different during this period. You wouldn't even fart the same. Like, you imagine if you realized every time you burped you made $500, and every time you farted a miracle happened. I swear to God, like you would change the way you fart. Like, you wouldn't even fart this. A lot of you would act brand new. You'd be like, oh, hold on, guys, I'm about to pass gas. And someone would be like, ew. You'll be like, hey, excuse me, you're not going to hate on my farts. This fart is going to change your life. All right, hold on, it's coming through. Like, you wouldn't even fart the same. You wouldn't burp the same. You wouldn't, if you knew that every time you cried, like your tears could be sold on the black market for $100 million, like you wouldn't even walk the same. And I hopefully, I hope that sounds crazy, but like you're already aware of certain facets of this, but you're gonna be more aware of it than ever. Not only, not only that, but this is also coinciding with you finally mastering your ability to transcend the nature of how you harness energy. And that's where we get into Moon and Leo, the transcendent 12th house balsamic phase in the dark of the moon in a light sign of Leo, that's going to fundamentally change the way, one, you socialize with other people, and two, the courage that goes into your socialization with other people. This highly now brings in taboos that aren't necessarily weird. They're just weird to other people. So with the square to Uranus, there's certain things you do that are not accepted by society. There's a certain way you express yourself that's not ladylike enough for other people, or that's not manly enough for other people. And instead of giving into that peer pressure, you're whipping your dick out or you're whipping your boobs out and you're like, I don't care. Actually, wait, You feel all that, and you say that I'm all these bad things, but that's only to you. So I'll be all right. And people can't stand that you have this attitude, that you're actually standing up for yourself, because these people expect themselves not to have to explain themselves. They just share their opinion, and people bow to their pressure. And then there's you, who operates within logic and reason and knows that such behavior makes no sense, and you don't let these people manipulate you. I like this one. I like you. Okay? Because these salty ass, bitter ass, weak little bees, bitches, are going to get even more salty because you're exposing throughout Virgo season the inability for these dark forces to confront you in any real way. It's always been deception. Like, this is the best part about this season. All of, at even the collective level, certain things you were forced to do, the law will even reveal they never had the right to do that to you. Ever. Ever. It's that kind of thing where, like, once you challenge it, it breaks apart because they didn't expect you to challenge it. They had all this peer pressure. They had this illusion of people getting canceled. I'm just using examples just to give you an idea. So with this moon in Leo, you have to think that this moon in Leo is after the full moon in Aquarius that we had in Leo season. So now it went into Taurus and it's back in Leo. The whole purpose of Leo season after Taurus season is to upgrade, in light of Jupiter that's now in Aries, the nature of which you harness energy. It happens every year, and it happens so subtly every year. You're not going to process in an intellectual level that, oh, I harness energy 0.000005 better than next year, or last year. This year is unique in that your ability to be aware of this has skyrocketed. It's a very unique once in a lifetime arrangement where collectively people are noticing more than ever their ability to harness energy, where they can stockpile power and energy to sleep less, to gain more energy. A lot of these things that you didn't have to think of doing that were attached to your auto nervous system are gaining a super conscious function to where you can produce more life force through the vehicle and resistance of your body to do all sorts of magical shit with it. And so now that Leo season has charged and raised through your confidence and courage the ability for you to harness natural energy through your body, whether electrically, through fire, through water, all right, even lightning, air, get your elemental bending on. The moon in Leo is now, in light of this new Virgoan behavioral change, in light of real evidence that lifts you out of any doubt of the existence and reality of this supernatural phenomena, which you're experiencing all day today and isn't new because you've been going through this the last 2 weeks. It's just more real now in Virgo, is transcending the beliefs and unconscious habits that block your ability to harness energy. Let me tell you why this should be very, very exciting for you right now. Some of you, with your energy, with energetic blockages, and most importantly, with your beliefs and your belief systems, clogged your ability to harness energy. You were lied to as a kid. You know this. But even as an adult growing up. And so imagine if a board of evil scientists say, well, if we just produce scholastic narratives to make these children believe in the developing formulative time of their years as children, where they create these neural pathways that they're just flesh beings and they don't harness energy, then we can circumvent the next generation's revolution by nerfing their abilities. They just underestimated how even if that worked on you, you still have all this latent power. They underestimated the fact that the infinite latent power within you was destined to awaken anyway, and that everything that they did towards you was a stopgap measure. They also didn't expect some of you to see through that BS and awaken other people super quickly too. So what you're doing is the equivalent in a series cycle of unraveling, because this doesn't always happen at once unless you have a tower moment or a near-death experience, is the equivalent of taking the energy that you have latent energy flowing through your body, especially the chakra gates, the gate of awakening that will align the peak expression of your body, right? Imagine if your beliefs about yourself are so off that there's extra energy that doesn't flow because it's clogged. And you're going to reveal through, wait, I'm magical as fuck. You're going to complete this understanding, unravel this coil, and then your natural energy is going to whoosh. Some of you may just levitate. Like some of you have been thinking, oh, I have to do something to get this energy. And it's not what you're doing. Maybe it's something you're not doing. Or it may be something you're not doing. Maybe it's something you're doing that you have to stop doing. Stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Stop indirectly letting people's behavior and actions towards you influence you, when most of you are kings and queens who do not suffer the opinion of sheep in any way. And these people know that. And these people now have to create drama just so they can get your attention and opinion from it, because you give your power away so freely. Or you don't, and you put these people in their place. You want to get really excited, because once we step into the new moon in Virgo, you have unraveled any blockages or coils, and now your energy is free. You're going to naturally see the magical nature of your body. And now Uranus is retrograding. So you're going to notice like, oh, wow, when I touch something, it literally turns to gold. It wasn't just figurative. When I shake people's hands, they get a refreshing healing boost. Like Virgo is going to let you know all the details that happen. Like Shazam, when his friend, when he activated his power, they had to experiment and analyze, oh, shit, I can charge phones. All right. And Virgo season is going to be that process where it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't just charge people's phones randomly. It's going to change the way how you do things, align in integrity. Now, the rest of this magic moon message is important because it incorporates supernatural understanding of phenomena beyond your brain's ability to process, and will challenge everything that you still consider fantasy. Virgo is going to take fantastical elements and things in your reality that you thought was an illusion, that's actually real. That you thought was fantasy, that's actually real. That you thought was science fiction, that's actually real. Maybe your understanding of it was unrealistic, but there's a real nature to it. For example, maybe you've always thought vampires are fantasy. You're gonna meet a real life vampire today. Yeah, maybe they're daywalkers, right? Maybe you think vampires can't walk in the sunlight, but this is real life. So no, they can actually walk in the sunlight. They actually don't eat blood. That was more folklore and myth. You're going to learn the difference between what's folklore and myth and what's actually real. You're going to gain a real postmodern understanding of certain folklore symbology and also mysteries that were never mysteries. The only thing that was mysterious about it was the nature of how these stories were told and the lack of understanding that we have now. See, in this age where we have so much more understanding, things that were legends to our ancestors are actually ridiculously simple to us. You know what I'm saying? Dragons that shot laser beams out their eyes is really just like a helicopter that can shoot laser beams. So you're going to deconstructify all these mysteries. Many of you are going to reboot and step into a new rendition of old spiritual myths and stories and lore that you have come to rebirth. And this is going to begin the journey of crystallizing an understanding of magic that's not only hyper practical, but starts with giving you a newly defined understanding of the magical properties of your body that you can't buy and see in an anatomy book or a biology book. In fact, you're going to take your understanding and you're going to innovate the current knowledge of biology and anatomy with what you are understanding at this moment. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a professional or amateur, you're an individual first, and that's what makes you revolutionary. So I hope you enjoy this magical moon message. I hope you enjoy this transit. You want to spend the rest of this balsamic phase surrendering, releasing. Don't force yourself to do anything. Don't try and figure stuff out, because you're going to get synchronicities. And most of them won't make sense because you're trying to make sense of something that hasn't yet unfolded for you. It's like you're getting a sign that you're seeing a town you've never been to is 5 miles away. And you're trying to be like, what does the town look like? It's like, chill, just keep driving, B. Like, you'll get there in 5 miles. Don't try and figure out. Just be like, oh, shit, synchronicities. Okay, what I'm thinking and feeling, I'm in the right direction. Keep going in that right direction. And prepare to be surprised as you once again, yet again, underestimated your magnificence, as you discover that you are more amazing, magical, and beautiful than you could ever imagine. Godspeed. Peace.